The three wise men, also known as the Magi, have long been a part of the traditional Christmas story. But who are the Magi, and what is their story? Magi were astrologers, meaning they studied the stars. Many years ago, this was considered a very legitimate science, and astrologers were highly respected individuals. According to the biblical Christmas story, in the nights leading up to Jesus' birth, the Magi from the east noticed an unusually bright star in the sky. They traveled across the desert for months in the direction of the star and eventually arrived in Bethlehem, where they met the newborn baby Jesus. When the Magi saw the star, they were overjoyed. When they saw the child with his mother Mary, they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Even though it is never stated how many Magi brought these items, since the number of gifts was 3, it has long been assumed that there were 3 Magi as well. In many customs, the Magi are even given names and identities. Melchior is a Persian scholar, Caspar an Indian scholar, and Balthazar an Arabian scholar. The gifts presented proved to be quite interesting. Gold is rare and expensive. Frankincense was used as a perfume, and myrrh was a very costly oil. Myrrh was used as an embalming ointment and as a penitential incense in funerals and cremations until the 15th century. The 3 gifts had a spiritual meaning. Gold as a symbol of kingship on earth, frankincense as a symbol of prayer, and myrrh as a symbol of death. These was the first Christmas presents in the world, the precious presents that brought by the Magi to the baby Jesus. However, the joyfulness of the Magi ended here, and the Bible never mentioned any story happened to Magi after they met the baby Jesus. The Bible only records that the Magi returned to their country by another route. That's the end of the story about the Magi written in the Bible. We are not sure what happened to the Magi after they met the baby Jesus. In my opinion, this is regrettable. The Magi traveled a great distance to see Jesus, but once they returned home, I personally think that they are unable to testify about this wonderful Jesus in their home country because all they encountered was only a baby Jesus, not the Jesus who has unlimited power and performs numerous miracles. In this story, I imagine that there would have been many more extraordinary things that these Magi could have experienced if they had stayed and tried to follow Jesus, or at least had returned to look for the matured Jesus. Their knowledge about Jesus would also have been much deeper, and once they returned to their country, they would have been the ones to spread the good news there. Consider this. Aren't a lot of Christians just like Magi? Those who feel that attending Sunday services, singing, listening to preaching, and giving offerings is enough, but their daily lives from Monday through Saturday are far from God. Let's on this Christmas Eve we imagine ourselves as Magi who have come all the long way from the east to Jerusalem and see the baby Jesus in the stable. After we have made offerings to the baby, the King above all kings, and our heart feel the joy of his presence, do we choose to return to our country? Or do we choose to stay there so we can know him better? Psalm 145 verse 18. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded.